Hello, namaskar, and a very good evening to all of you. I'm Anu, your host for the show. And as we all know, that today's day is very special. This evening is very special because on one hand we are celebrating Choti Diwali, or in some part of the world it is Dhanteras today. So सबसे पहले आप सभी को दीपावली के इस पर्व की ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं. Wishing you all a very happy Diwali, and definitely again because today we are celebrating the fifth World Ayurveda Day. So that's what makes this evening more special. And, the experts who are there with me, all of you, because you are the real gurus of this subject. So you know much more than me. Lekin, I'm sure we all will agree that as we say about Ayurveda, Ayu means our age, our life. It is a combination of our body, our senses, our mind, and definitely our soul. And when we talk about Ayurveda, so definitely this is the science which teaches us to maintain a perfect balance between all of them. So, honorable officials, my dear distinguished guests, our speakers, community leaders, and my dear friends. First of all, thank you so very much on behalf of Qatar Stories. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the online celebrations of 5th World Ayurveda Day. Well, as we all know that World Ayurveda Day ki shuruaat, it started in 2016, and definitely har saal this day, every year, this day is observed on the special evening or the day of Dhanvantri Jayanti, or popularly, which we call as Dhanteras. And definitely the aim is to create a great sense of awareness in today's generation and to promote more and more about Ayurvedic principles of healing. So today we are celebrating the 5th World Ayurveda Day, and the theme for this year is Ayurveda for COVID-19. We are very much thankful to India Foundation, Ministry of Ayush, ICCR, and definitely Embassy of India, Qatar, for supporting us and helping us organizing this online program. And we are there with all of you all. So before we move ahead, let me remind you one more thing, that because our chat box is open as well. So if you have any questions, any suggestions, if you want to know anything, any queries, then definitely you can write us. And before we move ahead, let's start this evening with a pledge. तो चलिए हम सब साथ मिलकर ये कोशिश करते हैं और ये pledge लेते हैं that I pledge to make Ayurveda an internal part in my daily life and thereby enable good health and well-being for myself. Begin our show, begin our program. And first of all, I would like to invite on screen Miss Angelina. Please welcome Miss Angelina, Counselor Embassy India. And Miss Angelina, talk about the current scenario of health sector in Qatar. May we please request all of you to give a big round of applause to Miss Angelina. Miss Angelina, may we please request you to formally inaugurate the online discussion for 5th World Ayurveda Day.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a privilege for me to be able to inaugurate Ayurvedhodhayam on this 5th Ayurveda Day. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here in this forum, and it's an honor to speak about Ayurveda. We all know that it's the ancient form of medicine. It's time tested. It has survived centuries. It survived onslaught by modern medicine. But today, when we are going through this pandemic, unprecedented times, health crisis, something that we've not seen in the last 100 years, people have turned to traditional medicine because of the confidence in it. They know that despite modern medicine being there, they fall back to traditional medicine, especially Ayurveda, because they know that that is what will boost their immunity. So this is a sort of a revival, a rejuvenation that Ayurveda has received. And it is because of this that not just nationally, but internationally, Ayurveda is quite a sought after form of treatment. And we've seen foreigners flock to India to take advantage of this form of medicine. And following the trend, Qatar has for the first time given license to an Ayurvedic practitioner. We are going to hear from her today. And this is a milestone. As far as Qatar is concerned, I would say this is a milestone. Ministry of Ayush, they remain engaged with the Qatar side to see the complementarities that we can have with Qatar on traditional medicine. And the government of India recognizes the potential that Ayurveda has, and that is why they have given a lot of initiatives. They've taken a lot of initiatives, 100% FDI in this sector, and under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, 4,000 crore rupees has been allotted to the herbal sector to promote herbal cultivation. So this is all to give a boost to our traditional system of medicine. And Honorable Prime Minister has dedicated two future-ready institutes to the world today. This will give us a global leadership role when it comes to Ayurveda. And the global market is expanding. It's expected that maybe in the next 4-5 years, it's expected to reach $15 billion, which is no easy feat. And we are all working towards it. And from my personal experience, I can say that, despite being other forms of medicine being there, I know that me and my family, at least, we know that Ayurveda is there to stay. I mean, it's something that will give you a wholesome, not just one treatment, but then you go there, it sort of gives you an entire a plethora of health benefits. You know that you're going to come back a new person, rejuvenated person. So I'll not take long because I know we have a stellar lineup of speakers who will be on the panel today. We have experts there. Thank you again, and it's an honor again to be inaugurating. And I wish this program a great success. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Angelina. It was our pleasure, definitely, because the way Embassy supported us, without you people, it was just not possible at all. Thank you so much. And yes, truly said, because, in Hindi, there's a very famous saying, we truly believe कि जैसा खाओगे अन्न वैसा रहेगा मन. Yani the kind of food you're eating, definitely your body, your mind, everything will grow accordingly. I can see Dr. Reshmi on screen. I can see Dr. Thomas on screen. So I'm sure the experts, they will agree with this. Thank you so much. And with this, let's please welcome our very next speaker, Dr. P.M. Warrior, MD, Kotakal Ayurvedhoshala, and Dr. P.M. Warrior will talk about Ayurveda for COVID-19, which is the theme for this year's World Ayurveda Day. Now let's welcome, with great round of applause on screen, Dr. P.M. Warrior, please.
Yeah, so due to some health problems, I cannot switch on my video. So I'll be presenting this speech without my presence in the video. I'm sorry for that.
No problem, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Honorable Councillor, Indian Embassy, Qatar, respected Secretary, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, all the dignitaries assembled in here for this event. AYURVEDHODHAYAM, a title quite befitting this occasion. It depicts the rise of Ayurveda in such a way that the entire society could rise themselves up, pushing down the plights of the pandemic, COVID-19. Arising to awakening should be the motto. I believe that. Awakening to a heightened level of awareness in keeping ourselves competent for the confrontation with the impacts the disease leaves on us. I'm so glad that the team Qatar Stories is setting a platform for the assemblage of personalities from various regions across the globe to share the viewpoints with regard to the promotion, propagation, and popularization of Ayurveda in areas including healthcare and industry as well. Ayurvedhoshala Kottakkal is only happy to be a part of such noble ventures. Coming to my topic, Ayurveda for COVID-19, which also happens to be the slogan for the National Ayurveda Day observed in India on this date under the auspices of Ministry of Ayush. Let me reflect on a few relevant points indexing the importance of Ayurveda in the context of COVID for prevention, control, and management. As we all know, most of the countries are still in the race to catch hold of the pandemic. India cannot afford to slow down the pace yet. The state of Qatar has also not lessened even the slightest of their vigilance in this matter. So is the case with many other places. COVID-19 continues to be an infection with many of its mysteries remaining unrevealed even now. The course of this disease, its management, possible complications, all these aspects have unknown areas, leaving us in dark many a time. However, the hardcore measures brought forth at various levels to lighten the situation certainly paves way to the betterment of the society. We are now becoming more equipped in dealing with the condition. The disease recovery rates as well as the comparatively lesser fatality rates shows rays of hope and remind us of the light at the end of the tunnel. Obviously, healthcare stream too had and will continue to have its own substantial contributions in the process of getting a grip over the issues. India In India, programs were chalked out at ministerial levels, right from the initial days of lockdown and implemented in the proper line and direction. Timely constitution of committees to sketch appropriate protocols and plans for facilitating the intervention of indigenous systems in all the possible areas were done by the Ministry of Ayush. The protocols, inclusive of medicaments and other preventive as well as control measures, appear to be working well as far as the Indian society is concerned. Ayurveda eyes on three main areas in this regard. One is the personal health enhancement, the second one, societal health establishment, and the third one, environmental health enactment. The first one, personal health enactment, is addressed mainly tooling the vast array of medicaments with proven efficacy in the improvement and maintenance of health and well-being. The proposed medicines belong to classes of immune modulators, adaptogens, and antioxidants mainly. They in turn work as metabolism regulators and systemic correctors. Ashwagandha Churnam and Ayush Kwath Churnam may be cited as examples. English name for ashwagandha is Indian ginseng, which is widely used for its rejuvenative properties. Ayush Kwath Churnam is a formulation comprising of 4 ingredients, namely basil leaves, dried ginger, pepper, and cinnamon bark. The hot infusion prepared using Ayush Kwath Churnam is gaining great popularity among the public as a health drink in all respects. Incidentally, I may mention here that one of the strong arms of Ayurveda, that is the Cyanotherapy, gets significant relevance in the background of COVID. Cyanotherapy aims at maintaining the vigor and vitality as well as the restoration of those factors if lost. It employs means and methods to prevent cell damage and degeneration. In effect, such medicaments and measures work as immunomodulators and health promoters. Herbs like zeoli, that means Taenospora cordifolia, then turmeric, haridra, curcuma longa, and gooseberry, Emblica officinalis, deserve supreme attention here. Also, prepared formulations like Chavanprasham, Brahmarasayanam, and Agasthyarasayanam are given priority in this connection. Another unique facet which Ayurveda puts forth for keeping oneself in good health is the Biopurific A3 Therapies. The therapies commonly termed as Panchakarma, namely the 5 modalities of internal cleansing, when done scientifically and systematically, aids in the promotion of health and fitness into ward off infections as well. Needless to mention, sticking onto the personal healthcare measures eventually leads to the establishment of a disciplined and in-shape society. A clean environment is also a must-have towards the healthy state of being. Ayurveda advocates a way of life which should go hand in hand with equilibrium of the nature. The environmental purification measures like deployment of medicated fumigation should not be less regarded at this point of time. Coming to the end of my speech, I may reiterate the importance of utilizing the advantages of Ayurveda and inclusion of Ayurvedic medicaments as and when indicated in the regimes for the control and prevention and management of COVID-19. I once again appreciate the efforts of the organizers in conducting this virtual event for the creative and meaningful exchange of innovative ideas at global level. I am sure that this would nurture and promote the industrial enterprises in the field of Ayurveda and encourage exploration of newer and newer openings for its association. I would like to place on record my gratitude to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this eminent endeavor. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Claire. It was definitely a pleasure having you, and a big thanks to you for sharing all those remedies and the therapies, which is much more required. In fact, this is what the need of the hour, that we should adapt more and more of our desi nuskhas in our life, definitely under with the supervision of some acharya or Vaidya, Ayurvedic Vaidya. Well, with this, may I please request Dr. Mohan Thomas to come on screen, please. Though he doesn't need any introduction, but let me tell you, Dr. Mohan Thomas is the chairman of Cochin Medicity and Tourism Private Limited. And we would like to request Dr. Thomas to please talk about medical tourism, the scope and the advantage of medical tourism regarding the sector of Ayurveda. Dr. Mohan Thomas on screen, please. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, Anu, for inviting me. Madam Angelina,
Pleasure.
of Embassy of India, Secretary, Ayush Ministry, renowned physician, Ayurvedic physician of India, Mr. Dr. P.M. Warrior, my fellow speakers. First of all, greetings to all of you on the Ayurveda Day and Happy Diwali. I will touch upon the medical tourism industry in India and how Ayurveda could have a journey with that exponentially growing industry, which is temporarily halted because of COVID. As you know, healthcare and education are the birthright of every citizen. Every government prioritizes that area and allots a good part of the GDP to these two services. As you know, public sector alone cannot fulfill the requirements of a country. The private sector joins their hands to bring it up. The world has become a small village, and with the connectivity, cheap air travel, the tourism has exponentially grown, and along with people have started seeking medical assistance from different parts of the world because of two reasons. One, the quality treatment available in different countries. Second, affordable cost for their citizens. India has a great opportunity in medical tourism, and it has its place in the top 10 countries. The current market of medical tourism business is to the tune of $75 billion US. And in 2003, India has grown this business from $3 billion US to almost $8 billion by 2019, where we found a halt now because of the pandemic. I'm sure with the introduction of vaccines, this industry will boom back after the middle of 2021 or end of 2021. And there are great opportunities for India, because India is uniquely placed, is as the only country that can give high quality treatment, not only in allopathy, but add Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathy, and Siddha. These are different branches. I think a journey of these 4 branches together in the medical tourism industry will take India to the top #1 country in the world. But this definitely have to have a great plan. Ayush Ministry has taken great steps and strides on this area, but they have to have more regulations relaxed, bring in proposals of public-private participation projects with definite plans for touristic spots connected by international airports. Also, they have taken great steps to ease the visas now. The people who are coming on tourist visa no more needs a medical visa to take treatment, except for organ transplants. And the 2-month gap of granting another visa for Gulf people has been relaxed, so they can get another visa for a frequent travel to India. So there has been a lot of steps taken by Government of India towards this one. But we need 2.4 million doctors in different branches of India with the healthcare system, as well as we need 2 million hospital beds. I think Government of India has to encourage the public-private partnership to achieve this great thing. The Ayurveda is the science of healing and rejuvenation. Let me share with you, being an allopathic doctor, I do practice myself Ayurveda. I enjoy the rejuvenation and the detoxification therapies that has been put forward by the Ayurvedic spa and centers. India has a lot of wellness centers now, and Hotekal Ayurvedhoshala is the leader in India who has been known for their services of treatment, Ayurvedic treatment successfully, not only in the Middle East and Gulf area, but all over the world. So there are great opportunities for the Ayurveda branch to be incorporated with the medical tourism business and take it to a different style and different service. In the olden days, if you look at the history, you can see that the people came to India, foreigners came to India to learn about Ayurveda and the Indian philosophy in great Indian universities like Nalanda, Takshashila, and Kashi. And for some reasons, it faded away. Later, you can see the Buddhist monks took with them this Ayurveda treatment to different parts of the world and became very popular. Modern days, from before 1980 onwards, a lot of authors, especially Indian authors, I would specifically mention the name of Mr. Deepak Chopra, who wrote a bestseller in a few decades back, I would say, on the subject that is ageless body and timeless mind. It took by storm the Western world. How Ayurveda and yoga can bring in the vitality back, the aging back, and provide the detoxifications, antioxidants, and so many things. But then there was a Western type of Ayurveda, which many people brought in as a business opportunity and spoiled the name of Ayurveda. I think the Ayush Ministry has to take an immediate steps to make the people aware what the real Ayurveda is and propagate those gurus there. If you look at the suggestions we want to make for the Ayurveda, and especially for the Indian medical tourism business, is that India should be branded as a most tourist-friendly country where the medical facilities of all the branches can be provided. That's one of the most important thing. Of course, the medical visas have already been granted, so that problem is now no more things. We would also suggest that there should be a brand of bureaucrats Ayush Ministry should create called the Indian Medical Service, like you have created for the Foreign Service, the Police Service, the Revenue Service, and all. Indian Medical Service, a brand of bureaucrats should be created who will take this mission and give a 10-year time to take the Ayurveda to a different level all over the world. There are many countries which are underdeveloped or least developed, and developing countries. There are 47 least developed countries. Indian medical personnel are the most sought after medical personnel all over the world. If you go to any countries in Western world, in European countries, you can see them. They are the most reputed people. A recent study has shown by the Harvard that people who treat with Indian doctors in the Western world have least morbidity and mortality. It has been proven paper. It is very surprising, but it is very, very encouraging. India is the pharmacy of the world. We make the generic drugs in the most cheapest way. And India has the capacity to make 1 billion vaccines now. So India is got a great hope and stride in this field. India should take over the budget of these countries and provide a total solution to those countries, actually. That is an opportunity for India. In this part of the world, as you know, Qatar has taken a great step to recognize Ayurveda as a system of medicine. And we have now a Ayurvedic doctor who has been granted visa. Qatar is hosting the FIFA World Cup in 2022. Qatar is bidding for the Asian Games. The finals will be known on December 6th. And Qatar is planning to bid for Olympic in 2032. A lot of tourism that is going to develop in this area. India has an opportunity to develop that business in this area, the wellness centers, Ayurvedic wellness centers. So there's a great opportunity for Indian businessmen and Indian people to be in this part of the world to start this business in Middle East. People do not have to travel that far, but it can be provided here itself. And we have a lot of Indian population living in this area. So I see there is a great opportunity for this branch to take it forward. We wish everyone the best for their journey to achieve this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. Thank you so very much. And definitely, as you said, sabse pehle, when you're visiting any doctor, be it any branch, so the most important thing which is required is the trust. And definitely, being an Indian, I can say that Indian doctors, whether they are from allopathy, Ayurveda, or homeopathic, any branch it is, they have earned that trust because the way they practice. And when we talk about Ayurveda, so if you interpreted Ayurveda, yani something which is there from the age of our Vedas, which is as old, as ancient as our Vedas, and Ayurveda is something which is, indirectly an inherent part of our life, especially if we talk about Indians. So yes, we are very much hopeful that this new branch will grow more and more, and definitely we as Indians, be it Indian doctors or businessmen, we can definitely have benefit or take advantage of this big opportunity. Well, when I'm talking about more business, more opportunities, then on this very note, let me invite our next speaker, Mr. Yusuf Al-Jaber, who's Chairman IBD Summit. And definitely Mr. Jaber is the right person who will be talking about global investment in health sector. So ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is Mr. Yusuf Al-Jaber. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. First of all, my name is Yusuf Al-Jaber. I'm the chairman of a platform called IBD, International Business Delegations. International Business Delegations, simply it's a platform to support connecting entrepreneurs, investors, and innovators. So 3 I's. We actually supporting those 3 pillars to meet, to join, and in a win-win situation, they grow and be successful. So as you clearly mentioned, I'm going to talk about the part of the global health. I'm going to focus on my country, which is Qatar. Allow me first to say why we are supporting the health. We have here in Qatar, we have our 2030 vision. It is the country vision to reach in 2030. So under this vision, we have 4 important pillars. The first pillar is the social development, where we have to maintain our values, our traditional clothes, and so on. This is the first pillar. The second pillar is the economic pillar, where we need to diversify from the oil and gas. As you know, Qatar is depending heavily in oil and gas these days. But our vision is to diversify. By 2030, we depend 0 on oil and gas, and we get different streams of revenues from oil and gas. Third pillar is the environmental development, where we have to improve our environment here in Qatar, and also we are supporting the environment I would say the society, environment society all over the world. Fourth, and this is the most important thing, which is the human development. And that's why I'm talking about our vision, where here in Qatar, we are under human development. We have two main areas that the government is supporting: education and health. And health, Qatar is really investing a lot in health. Qatar in 2020, they spent, or Qatar spent 22.6 billion Qatar riyals only in health. This is equivalent to 11% of the overall Qatar's budget. So that's how we are really supporting the health sector and improving the health sector. Not only that, Qatar also is supporting the health private sector entities by so many initiatives. One of the main initiatives is going, we had it before, we are developing it at the moment, and the government is going to announce it very shortly, which is the health insurance. So Qatar is going to provide health insurance to all the government employees. So by doing that, the health entities, private entities are going to benefit a lot from this initiative. So that's why I would like here, on behalf of all IBD members, I would like to encourage the investors, the people who have the know-how to come here to Qatar in order to start their initiatives, or to join investors here in Qatar and to start initiatives in the health sector. This is one thing. The other thing also, I would like also to welcome and see if there are any initiatives related to the health sector in India. If there is a good return on investment, if there is a good business model, feasibility study, we welcome that. We can have it. We can, maybe we are going to invest or bring other investors to come and invest in India. And by saying that, I would like really to thank you for having me. I'm really happy and honored to be part of this presentation or of this discussion. And I hope to see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was a pleasure having you there on the panel. And a big thank you for the open offer which you have offered for everybody who's listening, who's watching to you. And definitely be prepared for more and more brainstorming, because I'm sure after listening your piece, more and more proposals will be coming on your way. Once again, thank you so very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Yusuf Al-Jaber. Definitely, he has given some very good figures. He has shared some very interesting facts with us. And if you have any interesting proposal, then he's the right man. You never know, things might change anytime. Let's move ahead. And after Mr. Yusuf, let's welcome Dr. Reshmi ML, who's Remedy Ayurvedic Clinic, who runs this Remedy Ayurvedic Clinic in Qatar, classical Ayurveda. And definitely, she is the very first Ayurvedic practitioner in Qatar who has got this license. So Dr. Reshmi, first of all, very warm welcome, and definitely big congratulations for this achievement of yours. All yours. On your screen, Dr. Reshmi, please give her a big round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. On this blessed Dhanvantari day, I would like to ask everyone to spend a few moments in prayer to relieve the mankind. So let's spend a few moments in prayer to relieve the mankind of this from this raging pandemic. So I'm just going for the Dhanvantari prayer for a few moments. Namami Dhanvantari Radhidevam Surasure Vandita Pada Padmam Loke Jararuk Bhayamrityu Nasham Dadharam Namami Isham Vividaushadinam. Thank you, Katha Stories, for the invite and the introduction. I'm honored and overwhelmed to be a part of the program and to share screen space with such eminent personalities here, and especially my guru and mentor, Dr. Suresh. I'm interested to talk about Ayurveda in Qatar. To start with, back in 2016, there was a circular issued by the Qatar Council for Health Practitioners to include Ayurveda as a scope in the complementary medical sciences or complementary health medicine, that too along with hijama, chiropractic, homeopathy, and acupuncture. So from that stage to this budding stage, this would not have been possible if there was no exemplary support from the government entities from the health sector. So they were very much patient to hear us out and also to walk us through the laborious, the paperwork of this for this purpose. So as you know, it's very difficult. It's extremely difficult to introduce a new clinical science or practice into this country, which has never experienced this sort of complementary medicine like Ayurveda. So it's a Herculean task to incorporate Ayurveda into the principle, Ayurvedic principles into the lifestyle regimens here. As anywhere in the world, the climate and the culture, that's what decides the lifestyle of the people here. So when to say about the difficulties, I would just like to say a few things. That is because of the hot climate here, the social life is more concentrated towards the evening. So which gives, what happens is this will lead to akala bhojana, that means eating food not at the right time as per the Ayurveda principles, and also not sleeping at night and sleeping during the day. So all these things which are contraindicated by Ayurveda to lead a healthy life. So I'm not forgetting the fact that Divaswapna is advised in certain conditions and seasons. And also what happens is due to the constant use of air conditioning, that too because of the climate, what happens is this contributes to the dosha imbalance. So about the people here, they are acquainted with the conventional medical system here. So they are more comfortable with the instant and symptomatic relief. So the Ayurveda works in a different way, as all others know. So this awareness has to be instilled in them to regulate their health style, lifestyle habits, and also the daily activities. So in this COVID times, what happens is the whole world is looking for some, for a feasible solution. So along with the conventional medicines management, there is also importance in also the prevention as well as the rehabilitation. So Ayurveda is working in this front in India with very good results. So what we have to do is, we have to bring, as mentioned earlier, the people have to be educated more about this here, about the Swastavrita aspect or the preventive aspect of Ayurveda. So which will help them to improve their Vyatik Shamata or immunity, which is very important in these times. Because as you know, if your immunity is more, it will be more, you will be more equipped to face the health challenges. So it will be more beneficial for Ayurveda clinical practice if they can follow this, and also the internal medicines. If we can bring the internal medicine aspect, that is in the internal medicines required for the practice also into the treatment line. If we can incorporate, that would be better. And as everywhere in the world, I feel there is immense potential for Ayurveda in Qatar also. And this, Ayurveda is able to thrive here and make an impact in the well-being of the citizens here and residents. So I'm thanking Qatar Stories once again. And also thank you for all the eminent people here. And I wish them all the success in their coming future endeavors. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reshmi. It was a pleasure interacting with you, and definitely we wish you more and more luck and success in your future endeavors. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's move ahead. And on screen coming up is another very senior practitioner, Dr. G.C. Gangadharan, who's Director, Ramaya Ayurvedic Hospital. And I would like to request Dr. Gangadharan to please educate us, to please talk more about Ayurveda and integrative medicine, which is the most required thing at this point of time. So ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big round of applause. On your screen is Dr. G.C. Gangadharan now.
Namaskar to all of you. My pranams from India. I am extremely happy to be with you on this very auspicious day for Ayurvedic people. especially it is the 5th National Ayurveda Day. And the subject I may like to ponder on today is integrative medicine, which has been in circulation for last 20 years or so. And we have been trying to integrate it two systems which are entirely working different kind of a platform. What we do not recognize or do not understand, the integrative medicine is not an end. Integrative medicine is a process. It is a dialogue and experience sharing between two systems. There is a need for integrative medicine in this present era because of the kind of situation that COVID-19 has put us in. We have experienced today in India, especially last 6 months or so, how the conditions of COVID symptoms and its expressions, etc., has been controlled and prevented by methods called in Ayurveda. Different parts of the country has been using different concoctions, different formulations, different methods to win over this calamity. So there is a scope for Ayurveda to step in. But as all of you may agree that Ayurveda has to sometime to change its form based on but standing on its own foundational principles. This changing form is the need of the time, which is what is more needed in this changing time of universal health. The health need of the people have been changing, and people are looking for a kind of alternative which can address these changing health issues. So I would like to put it on record that India, like many other countries, are in the forefront of taking advantage of Ayurveda based on an integrative approach, based on research and clinical practice. Integrative medicine, when we say, we think that it's not two systems coming together to cure a condition. It is a methodology being developed, assimilating two systems approaches to that conditions. Actually speaking, integrative medicine has to be preceded by a system called summative medicine. What we today see in the practice is a summative medicine. Some two systems are coming together without actually understanding both systems paradigm. Unless we understand the paradigm and integrate so that a new system come out of it, then only integrative medicine actually fulfill its name. That destination is far away. But today, many of the conditions, especially the chronic metabolic disorders, functional disorders, mental fatigue, kind of mental aberrations, all this due to the modern kind of living. Ayurveda has got long listed experiential and scientific, advanced scientific knowledge-based approaches. So this we have to put into practice. And when we go globally, as today we are all speaking about globalization of Ayurveda, integrative medicine, integrative method is the right approach. So a language which is understood by the modern biomedical science, a language which is understood by the mainstream scientific stream has to be adopted by Ayurveda to communicate each other. We cannot communicate a holistic science with a reductionistic science without understanding its element. If that is happening, Ayurveda can go a long way. For example, managing acute conditions, managing accidents and such scenario. Many times one has to make use of the modern gadgets, modern infrastructure that's made available for that, the technology that has been given to modern science, modern medicine by modern science. All this thing has to be internalized by Ayurveda to a certain extent if you want to apply Ayurveda in the contemporary area. I think this integrative medicine, which is in vogue at different levels of its growth and maturity in different institutions, are are to be synchronized. For example, if you look into the National Institute of Health in US, which has got a separate research institution for alternative and holistic science medicines, which has been adopting elements of Ayurvedic wisdom without actually understanding what Ayurveda is. That's not integration. Integration is the right integration is that when you take the science with its principle, then it becomes integrated. Otherwise, it will become a misappropriation of certain elements of one science, which is politically weak or socially weak or commercially weak. That should not be the way to integrate. I think there is need for more and more institutions which can work based on this principle. Today, we don't have a mainstream integrative approach based institution anywhere in the country. There are individual efforts, there are private efforts, there are very disorganized efforts here and there, which does not have a common language or common platform. I think if we are able to develop through the umbrella of Ministry of Ayush kind of government mechanism, then it will go a long way. Otherwise, Ayurveda will not go out of the boundaries of India in whatever form we are expecting. I think that is my take on this subject. I'm extremely happy that Qatar is supposed to be one of the countries which has accepted Ayurveda science, and there are mechanisms made available for practitioners to come and register and practice good Ayurveda. They are encouraging the Ayurvedic practice and Ayurvedic products and Ayurvedic services. This is a very good starting point. You should use all this platform to further advance Ayurveda in this kind of countries. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gangadharan. It was a pleasure interacting with you. And yes, you are definitely right that the time has come where, we need to take a strong stand about it. And Qatar is definitely one country who's promoting Ayurveda these days. And Dr. Reshmi is one live example of that. I'm sure she will agree with me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with this, let's move on to our next speaker who's joining us all the way from Denmark. Please give a big round of applause for Dr. Rajiv Vasudev. And let me tell you about Dr. Rajiv, that he is from hospitality sector and he's the former CEO of Technopark Trivandrum. And definitely, Dr. Rajiv is MD Ayurveda Hospital from Bangalore, and he would like to talk about Ayurveda hospitality, which is something very interesting in its own. So, Dr. Rajiv on screen, please give him a big round of applause. Welcome to the discussion, Dr. Rajiv.
So, first of all, it's a great pleasure to be here on this unique platform, which is brought together by Qatar Stories, and to have heard a series of very illustrious physicians and, the first doctor to be licensed in Qatar. And it's quite a milestone that will always go in her favor, forever. And of course, to hear my friend Dr. Gigi speak and Dr. P.M. Warrior, it was really nice to hear. Now, let me tell, I would be talking not on Ayurveda hospitality, I would be talking on Ayurveda hospitals. Both these topics are quite distinct, I must clarify. Hospitality is about the business of hotels. So I'm talking on hospitals. So to place things in context in the 10 minutes allotted to me, I would like to place in perspective what is the healthcare needs that we are trying to address here, right? Particularly from the context of Qatar, and what does Ayurveda really offer to this particular geography. So I did a little basic research, and what I could find is that the population of Qatar is an estimated 2.6 million. The population growth at about 1.7% is below the replacement rate. What that means is the population is declining, right? Over a period of time, population is declining. There is some significance, which is why I would say 88% are expatriates of the population, and 75% of the population are males, right? Only 25% are females, because 75%, a big chunk of them are expatriate workers and people who have come to Qatar. The life expectancy is about 80 years for Qataris. The government health spending is the maximum amongst all the components, and 80% currently are under universal health coverage, right? It's very important to know what is the regulatory landscape under which we're coming. If you look at deaths, how do deaths happen in Qatar? What is disability causing? It's very interesting because immediately we can look at Ayurveda's role here. 24% of all deaths is due to cardiac disorders, 17% diabetes, 9% cancer. Road injuries, actually the percentage is somewhere, I think 28% or something is given, but that's another major cause of deaths in Qatar. Stroke, cirrhosis, chronic kidney disease, congenital defects are the other problems which are given for Qatar. Very interesting. Congenital defects is within the top 10 conditions, right? So death and disability, road injuries comes on top, diabetes 2, low back pain is number 3, depression, cardiac disorders, headaches, again neonatal disorders, cause of disability. Very interesting, the profile of diseases which are causing this. So what is quite fascinating is the national health strategy of the government of Qatar for 2018 to 2022, a very mature visionary document, which I must compliment the government of Qatar for what they've done, right? Because of the fact that the population is plateauing and reducing, the focus actually is on improving the effectiveness of healthcare delivery rather than increasing capacity. So where, we heard about the shortage of 2 million beds in India and so on and so forth in India, but in Qatar, the problem is of a different kind. How to be more effective in giving healthcare. Now, as part of the policy and strategic framework, they talked about 12 priority areas, which includes 7 priority populations. Very interesting. And 5 system priorities. Now, all of this will dovetail into what we see as the need for Ayurveda to do something. What can Ayurveda contribute here? So the 7 priority populations are children, women, expatriates, mental health, multiple chronic conditions, people with more than one chronic condition. Very interesting. You look at the data, it's all given there in the report. Regular rehospitalization, increased cost of bearing for the government, and then special needs population. I'm sure that with the congenital problem which is there, the special needs population will also be quite high. And elder care. These are the 7 priority populations, right? So when we look at a modern medicine structure, which is clearly specialty oriented, telling I'm cardiac, I am liver, I am cancer, here we're looking at the people, which is very different from disease. Kindly note this. So any disease affecting this segment of population is very important. The system-wide priorities from a policy-making angle in the direction which is set here talks about an integrated model of healthcare, which goes from healthcare in the primary health level, where there is a designated team of caregivers which manages every individual. It's a very, very visionary thing. Being a small country, it's able to plan like this. Health promotion and prevention, health protection, right? Health promotion, who else can talk about it? Health prevention properly, right? Health protection, immunity building. Who can talk about it? Ayurveda really is going straight into these points. Health in all policies. Every policy of the government will incorporate health as an integral part, because people realize healthy people is healthy country, healthy economy, everything. And with a country where 70% suffer from non-communicable diseases, 80% are overweight, 88% of children have dental problems. It's a serious issue. I mean, it's so apparent, which can be fixed then. So what we are coming to, therefore, is the possibilities for Qatar is, in terms of the what the government can do, is to look at when appropriately integrated medicine, where for, as Dr. Gigi said, for acute emergency life support kind of care, the road trauma care, etc., we look at the quaternary care hospitals, tertiary care hospitals, but everything preceding that and succeeding that, rehabilitation, etc., Ayurveda would come extremely well. It would come to the health of expectant mothers, primal prevention. It would come to the primary prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention. So extremely complementary role between Ayurveda and modern medicine. But for this, the regulatory support, now Dr. Rashmi has been granted a license. It's a great milestone. I hope that that is going to open up a pathway for more and more doctors who can come and legally practice Ayurveda in Qatar. Secondly, for import of Ayurveda medicines as medicines. like we are practicing in India, those medicines should be able to be imported into Qatar and be prescribed and sold through prescription shops, whatever chemist shops are there. The fact that insurance is going to be increasingly, Mr. Jabir made a very good overview of what the government is doing and what he sees as the direction. In that context, that all government employees going into insurance, expats under insurance, I think we have a tremendous opportunity again to see that Ayurveda is incorporated, as many of the UHCs do. For example, UAE, the health insurance, which is universal health coverage, covers Ayurveda, or it does not deny Ayurveda. So many expatriates are able to come to India, take the treatment. Now imagine if the facility is kept in Qatar itself. And with all these new things coming up, we have the World Cup in football, and the Asian Cup, the Asiad, and so on and so forth. All these things which are slated, as was told by preceding speaker, by Dr. Mohan Thomas. So if we look at that particular direction, Ayurveda in that insurance-backed framework, what can it do for chronic diseases, for rehabilitation, for congenital conditions, for elder care, for women care, diabetes, cancer rehabilitation, right? With with experts like Dr. Suresh Kumar here, who are experts in rehabilitation, etc. You can imagine what is really the possibility if Ayurveda is able to come and set up in Qatar. I want to conclude with just one more point. We need to look at active awareness creation about the real scope of Ayurveda, not as Dadi ke nuske Anuji. I hope you can hear me. Ayurveda is not Dadi ke nuske. It is a complete system of medicine. Ahara, Vihara, Aushadha Kriya, diet, lifestyle, everything can be done comprehensively by population type and the type of health problems. So I'm very, very glad that Qatar Stories has created this particular inaugural forum whereby Ayurveda Day has been celebrated. I'm also very thankful to Qatar Stories, Mr. Balachandran, and to you, Anu Sharma ji, for taking that Ayurveda pledge in the beginning. Because that is a pledge that is being taken in 75 countries today, right? And Qatar joins that family of 75 countries plus, where this is being celebrated uniformly. And with these words, I just want to say one thing about Ayurveda. We are a chain of Ayurveda hospitals, the only National Quality Award winning Ayurveda hospital in India. And we have 4 NABH accredited and 1 JCI approved Ayurveda hospital. 3 of them operate within quaternary care hospitals, including Aster CMI, Aster MedCity, and Medanta. So we will be, of course, very happy to collaborate with those from Qatar who would like to look at serious precision Ayurveda medical care. Thank you, namaste, and happy Deepavali season greetings to everybody. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv. Definitely, jo bhi discussion, jo bhi research aapne kari, it added another flavor to the entire discussion. And yes, I totally agree. Ayurveda is not just about Dadi Ma ke nuske. In fact, wo chale zarur aa rahe hain from the ancient ages, but definitely this is something jisne apni worth prove kari hai over the years. And that is why, I mentioned that directly or indirectly, Ayurveda is our, it's an integral part of our life. Chahe hum usko jaan kar kare ya anjane mein kare, but all of us, we do follow that. But thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, let's move ahead. And our next speaker is a very young entrepreneur who is joining us all the way from Singapore. She is the founder and CEO of Earth, Art of Health. Please give a big round of applause for Ritika Patni. Ritika would like to talk about Ayurveda, future mental well-being. Welcome, Ms. Ritika. Hope you're doing well.
Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, Anu. First, let me just congratulate you on conducting an excellent program. I've been a part of a few Ayurveda programs today, and very, very delighted to be a part of the Qatar Stories program, and the high quality of content that you're trying to bring forth to your audience there. Like Anu said, I'm of course running, my company here called The Art of Health. Besides that, I'm also a member of the core group that is steering the Global Ayurveda Day celebrations today in over 75 countries around the world. This is anchored by India Foundation Center for Public Policy, Public Diplomacy and Soft Power. Before I start talking about the theme that I've been given for today's discussion, I would also like to, send greetings from His Excellency, Mr. P. Kumaran, who I believe was the High Commissioner of Qatar till just a few months back. He is now the High Commissioner of Singapore, High Commissioner of India to Singapore, and we just concluded a wonderful Ayurveda Day program here in Singapore with him. But he specifically said to me to send his greetings to all his friends in Qatar. So that's from him. Talking about Ayurveda and its future and role in mental wellness, the first thing that I would really like to highlight is that, when we look at the definition of health within Ayurveda, so, most of us would know the shloka, and, it talks about prasanna atma, mana and indriya, besides just, dhatu, dosha and, elimination of toxins, which is mala. So right from many years back, thousands, like we say, more than 5,000 years back, there was recognition and acknowledgement that health is not limited to physical wellness, but has a very, very big and equally important psychological component. So this is to the credit of Ayurveda that it has always looked at health in this very holistic paradigm. And of course, today we are sitting here in 2020 when I think mental health problems have become an epidemic. So there are rising cases of depression, anxiety, particularly in the backdrop of the pandemic, has been exponentially increasing. And I think what is really important to note here is that, as we are becoming a world which is increasingly driven by technology, we are constantly stimulated. Our nervous systems are constantly on the edge. We are, constantly using devices. And in such a scenario, it is very important that, we are able to harness techniques to ensure that our mental well-being is, taken care of. So what a lot of people do nowadays is when they talk about mental well-being, mental health, they think that, it involves going to a doctor or a psychiatrist and taking some medication. But, I think, many of us would be aware that such medication has its limitations. Most of these medications come with a lot of different side effects, and often there are cases of relapse and, people who are not able to really find a long-term cure. So the question then becomes that as we go into this new decade where, the technology use is only going to keep increasing and, our nervous systems will be constantly stressed, we do not have anything in modern medicine to really help us. So then what can Ayurveda really offer in the future, to help with these problems relating to mental well-being? So the beauty of Ayurveda, we've had very, very distinguished speakers and doctors, talking about various medical aspects of Ayurveda. But, what I want to specifically highlight here is the beauty of Ayurveda lies also, in it being a system of knowledge. And, this wisdom can really empower individuals to take their health in their own hands and ensure that they try and live a healthy life. This is very important. And, as Ayurveda is also a sister science of yoga, I think what we see has happened with yoga around the world, where it's become a people's movement and people have, tried to harness the knowledge of yoga for better health and well-being. Ayurveda has that potential too. It offers us those tools. It gives the power back in our hands. Ayurveda talks about the 4 important aspects of ahara, vihara, achara, and vichara. And, within those, as an example, I will take just the first one, which is ahara, which is known as, food or diet. And even if we look at just that really, really simple aspect, today there is so much confusion in the world about, what is the kind of diet that somebody should follow. I was speaking to somebody who is afflicted with COVID a few days back, and they said to me that they have multiple people calling and giving contradictory advice on what they really need to consume. And this really is the problem of the modern world. What makes Ayurveda so unique is that it is the oldest system of recorded, medical knowledge that is available in the world. So in that sense, it is one of our oldest and most authentic systems of healthcare that exists, and we should really harness this knowledge then to achieve better health. Even before disease afflicts them, they have the ability to take their health in their own hands by ensuring that they're living a healthy life. The other aspect of Ayurveda, which I believe has a huge potential, moving forward in the future, is of course the principle of, one size does not really fit all. So I think what makes Ayurveda again so unique is the fact that it is in fact a personalized health framework, which is the need of the hour today. And it is in that sense, again, a very advanced system of medicine, even though it dates back to many, many years, many years back. So something as simple as, knowing your prakriti, whether you are, you have a predominant vata prakriti or a predominant kapha prakriti, can, help you make intelligent choices about the food you should consume, or the, the kind of lifestyle you should have. And this is not the same for every individual. Today when we see that somebody suffers from some kind of, mental illness, it is not just the circumstances of the life that, affects them, but it is also often, their individual prakriti and ability to cope with things. And if only this knowledge was available to people, then people could really use those individualized recommendations to ensure that, they take care of their mental well-being and try and achieve good health. I would like to say towards, towards the end of my conversation here today with all of you that, in Ayurveda, we talk about the concept of health, which is swasthya. And swasthya is derived from two words, swa, which is translated as self, and astha, which means situated. So Ayurveda says swasthya or health really is, when one is grounded in one's own self. And that can only happen not just, of course, with physical well-being, but also with mental well-being, with inculcating the quantities of sattva, which give us clarity of mind, rather than, tamas, which is inertia or darkness, and, rajas, which of course is dynamism and active, an active mind, which is what we see all around us today, in this technologically empowered world. So, as we move forward, what I would like to say is that in the future of Ayurveda, while it is good to, see that we have entrepreneurs where there are, the next speaker I know is Mr. Ram Kumar, who has started Nirog Street, which is, of course, one of the Ayurveda platforms trying to bring technology into the world of Ayurveda. We heard Mr. Rajiv Vasudevan talk about Ayurveda hospitals, where he's trying to bring precision-based medicine into the Ayurveda sector through Ayurveda hospitals. And all of this, has its place in taking Ayurveda forward in this coming decade. But, I would definitely like to highlight that there is a huge potential for Ayurveda also to be a people's movement, where it is not just about practice of the medicine, but also the knowledge, the very, very beautiful system of knowledge that Ayurveda offers to people. And if that knowledge can be transmitted to people, I think that will really empower people. And this is really what distinguishes Ayurveda from so many other systems of medicine, whether we talk about homeopathy or we talk about, modern medicine. So in conclusion, that is what I would like to say, that, we hope, and that has been our effort through the Ayurveda Day initiative that we're doing globally, to basically see that Ayurveda can become a people's movement and can go and touch the lives of as many individuals as possible for better health, both at a physical level, but also very importantly at a psychological level, because that seems to be the increasing, need of the times today. So thank you so much. Really appreciate this opportunity to speak here, and wish you good luck, Mr. Balachandran and Ms. Anu.
Thank you so much, Ritika. Definitely, the focus was very much in the right direction, because when we talk about Ayurveda, so it is a perfect balance about our body, mind, and soul. And I'm sure all of you will agree, when all of these three factors or sides are very much in sync with each other, so there is no need of medicine. And when there is no need of any medicine, that means you are perfectly healthy. And this art of living healthily is called Ayurveda. So definitely, Ritika, mental balance, mental peace is much required. Wishing you all the luck, all the success. And with this, let's move ahead. Our next speaker is Dr. Ramanathan, who's Ayurveda Medicine Manufacturing Association. He's from the Manufacturing Associations, and he would like to talk about more about Ayurveda industry, the present scenario of Ayurveda industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Dr. Ramanathan.
Good evening, Anil Sharma, Dr. P.M. Vaidya, and Yusuf Ali Dabir, Mohan Thomas, G.G. Gangadharan, Dr. Reshmi Rajiv Vasavan Patni, and Ram Kumar, and Dr. Suresh, and other participants. So, our guest of honor is mentioned now, that is Qatar, there is a 4th pillar. The last pillar he has mentioned is education and health. The health is, that is now, today morning, our Prime Minister, the inauguration time of the Modi ji at Delhi, he's quoted one slogan, Swasthasya Swasthya Rakshanam, Adarasya Vigara Prashtamanam. The same area that is quoted, our guest of honor, Yusuf Ali Jabir, today he's mentioned that the 4th pillar, that is, he's mentioned that it's education and health. This slogan, that is Swasthasya Swasthya Rakshanam, Adarasya Vigara Prashtanam, this slogan is quoted from Charaka Samhita, is the essence of Ayurveda, along with the management of disease and ill health, sustained preservation of health, and proactive prevention of disease in very hallmark of the Ayurvedic system of healing. Now, that is a 4th pillar in Ayurveda. One is a physician, second is Aushadha, and third is a massage, and 4th one is consumer or patient. So, my subject is the 2nd pillar, that is the subject of the manufacturing, medicine manufacturing. So, I come to the what is the status of India now. After the COVID-19 pandemic brought the world to stand still in a matter of months, as we slowly overcome the fear and panic brought on by a virulent disease, focusing on health rather than disease has become the new normal. The global attention is focused on the immense possibilities of Ayurveda, a system of medicine that is holistic and inclusive of every manner. At the outset, let us congratulate the Qatar, the stories team behind the visionary, even planned to coincide with the National Ayurveda Day. Ayush has been instrumental in forthcoming the simple principle of Ayurveda into general public. The Ministry has already mentioned, that Secretary has already mentioned that the practice of taking Ayush Quad, Haladi milk, nasal installation of the Cyanotherapy and oil pulling, etc., method to prevent infection and disease during the pandemic. For your information, most of the international countries, the COVID attacks is the same, but the death rate is less. What is the reason? Maybe most of the peoples are using alternative system of medicine, especially for the Ayush propaganda. I mentioned that haladi milk, nasal installation with anudayala, oil pulling, etc., etc. This Chavanapras lake. This is one of the reasons the death rate, the complication from after the post-COVID condition, the dangerous condition is very less compared to any other international country. That is one of the main reasons they are using continuously Ayurvedic medicine timely. That is one of the main reasons. In Kerala, we have that is the spine of any system of medicine lies in the sustained availability of good quality medicine accessible to the masses. This is our job. From the time when medicine were prepared for individual patient by the practitioners themselves to this age and time when even the most complicated Ayurvedic formation has been adopted to the market without losing the authenticity, we have come a long way. I wish to draw your attention to the crucial element that define the competency of the Ayurvedic manufacturing sector in India. First of the standardization of the product and procedures. The standardization is a process of implementing and developing technical standards based on the consent of the different parties of the include firms, users, interest groups, standards organization, and government. The journey of the standardization of Ayurveda drug being good agriculture practice, GAP, and good collection practice, GCP. The medicine plant materials and supplied through the collection from wide population and cultivation. Under the overall context of the quality assurance and the control of herbal medicine, World Health Organization developed the guidelines on good agriculture practice and good collection practice for medicine plant, providing general technique guidelines on obtaining medicine plant material of good quality for the sustainable production of the herbal product classified as medicine. These guidelines are also related to the World Health Organization work on the protection of the medicine plants, aiming promotion of the sustainable use and cultivation of the medicine plants. The Prime Minister Atmanirbhar Yojana is planning to ensure easy availability of the seeds and plants and buyback mechanism of the rural agriculture sector, with a budget allocation at least 4,000 crores next year. The Viksha Ayush with the National Medicine Plan Board has coordinated as a brilliant addition to the Atmanirbhar Yojana. The process also standard the stringent complaints of the good manufacturing practice is a system to ensure product and consistently produced and controlled according to the quality standard. The current good manufacturing practice or WHO standard for current which indicate that most recent standards, technology and the methods are being applied to the operation. These are essential guidelines issued by the agencies that control the authorization and licensing of the manufacturing units. The product of manufacturing Ayurveda pharmaceutical under two broad categories. One is generic product. Generic product, that is whatever the mentioned the old test. And another one, the patent and proprietary medicine, are subject to the meticulous quality assurance procedure. These are tested by compliance to the quality parameters listed by API, Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India, and Ayurvedic Formulary of India, and each dosage form. These ensure quality and consistency of the product from one batch to the next. So all are same now. This is a development in Ayurveda now. Apparently, the products also have quality, heavy metals free, antimicrobial tested, and pesticide links before they enter to the open market. And promotion, research and development also. The Ayurveda industry has always strived to meet the rapidly changing needs of the aspirations of the customer base to consist to user-friendly dosage form, increased shelf life, and palatability are some of the main concerns. The competent research and development wing have ensured quality product keeping in line with the authenticity of the traditional formulation. The value addition to naturally available resources is opening up a world opportunity to the young entrepreneur, creating employment opportunities for the skilled and providing quality and standard raw materials Ayurveda medicine manufacturing industry. The market organizes seasonal and regional fluctuation, the availability of the raw material by restoring value-added products like extract and preserved or herbal drug, consistent in quality and availability. And we also developed the technological upgradation. The manufacturing has become highly efficient over the last century with the ability of the maximize both the productivity of the workers and machines and to maximize the profit and mechanized pulverizers, shifters, sorters, sievers, shakers, centrifuges, hydraulic boilers, steam jacket waxes, all the modern parameters without transform the Ayurveda manufacturing unit, the postmodern facilities. I mentioned that without the compromise, the Ayurvedic principle system. Whatever the mentioned the Ayurvedic test, we are also follow with the modern technology upgradation. This is one of the beauty area we are developed now here. Last but not least, the area at most concerned to the Ayurveda industry, the practice of sustainable harvesting practice and ethical exploitation of the natural resources. So the state of Kerala has then 11,300 square feet meter of forest area and equally impressive population proportion of the agriculture area. The soil and climatic profile of Kerala is perfectly suitable for more than 35 medicine plant. For example, you have the ginger. The ginger is one best one is fiber content. It is available only in Kerala in Wayanad. Kerala in 14 districts. One is best one in Wayanad. And Panovalam, that is best one Idiki, that is Munnar, very high fed. And Chitraga, that is best super place in Malappuram. And Bala, that is Siddha Corphoria, best one Thrissur, etc. This kind of geographical specialities are being identified and modulated to the suit industry needs, keeping in line with the Biodiversity Act. So the selective preference also has been given to the hardwood trees like some of the Dashmul drag, Cassia, Arjuna, Ashoka, etc. to cater the increased demands of the industry. The R&D are active engaged in the developing better harvesting practice to ensure continued availability of the raw material that fuels of the Ayurveda industry. And I summarize the standardization product and procedure, mandatory compliance of the GMP standard, promotion, research and development, technological upgradation, sustainable harvesting practice, and this is the present situation of the Ayurveda industry, especially in Kerala and all over India. So, our Rajiv Vasavan already mentioned that at least that is possible to take this standard quality product and take the import to there and use this medicine for the presently need for the, we need the lifestyle disease. Emergency area is okay, but the lifestyle disease area is only possible for the alternative system of medicine. That is the World Health Organization is understand now. So that level the Qatar is already started. So we need plenty of the medicine, supply of medicine, good quality of medicine. We are ready to invest it also, but we need some medicine plants. Availability of the medicine plants, we are facing the problem in Qatar. So we can start the extract method. So there is a good chances for the developing the Ayurveda system in Qatar also. It's a good area, good chance for that, all the area. So I thanks for you giving me the good chance for the Ayurveda industry area. The Ayurveda industry, that is a nowadays a good, we are good export also in UAE countries also. And in Qatar, there is a good chances for the more possibilities of the Ayurveda industry's promotion. Have a good happy Deepavali and happy National Ayurveda Day, Dhanutri Day. Jai Ayurveda. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramanathan. Thank you so much for sharing these insights because, definitely important. And one thing, or I should say the message is very clear that yes, we definitely want to move ahead on this path, but there will be no compromise with the quality or with the standards. So that was Dr. Ramanathan. And with this, let's move on to our next speaker. But before that, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the discussion, the online discussion or the online celebration of 5th World Ayurveda Day, which we are doing, unfortunately, when Ritika was talking, there was some disturbance in between. There were some intruders, and it shows the popularity, because we are talking about the positivity. We are talking about we are talking about establishing more and more our aim, and we oppose all of the inconvenience, but yes, because we are living in a virtual world, so sometimes all of these things happen. Ritika, I hope that was fine with you. Thankfully, our technical team managed it well, and because the chat box is open for all, so anybody can come, listen, watch us, and share and share the messages as well. But nevertheless, let's move ahead and let's invite Mr. Ram Kumar now. Mr. Ram Kumar from Nirog Street, Ayurveda Web Marketing. And Mr. Ram Kumar would like to talk about more about Ayurveda Web Marketing. Can we have Mr. Ram Kumar on screen, please? Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ram Kumar on your screen, please.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you so much. And you are actually doing, a very good job celebrating Ayurveda in Qatar. I'm Raman Kumar, founder and CEO of Nirog Street. Thank you, Ramanathan sir, for giving a broad view of Ayurveda manufacturing in India and how it can go to Qatar. You have been giving a very good, direction to this industry through Amomi and Sitaram Ayurveda. Thank you, Dr. Warrior. Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for your passion. And of course, to Dr. Yusuf for warm offer to Indian businesses and startups. Gangadharan sir has already taken, and he's truly taken integrated medicine to a new heights in India at Ramaiya. And it is always a delight to listen to Rajiv and Ritika actually put Ayurveda in global perspective. What are the challenges and opportunities that we see? So, and congratulations, Dr. Rasmi, on getting first license in Qatar. And of course, I have been going through what Qatar is doing, and what I have seen is national health strategy of Qatar is very, very progressive. And I see many other countries, particularly other Gulf states, are likely to follow that. And so I am part of a vibrant startup ecosystem in India. I'm a doctor. I represent technology, and I'm very passionate about technology, how technology can change Ayurveda and make it mainstream and first call of treatment for many people. And it started my personal experience when I was diagnosed with hepatitis C, and then reaching the drips and not getting treated. Then the same doctor recommending me to Ayurveda, and I am actually finally talking to you here. So this is actually part of my personal journey as well. So we started Nirogi Street to promote benefits of Ayurveda globally by helping digitize the market. We are actually helping our doctors in digitizing their practice in various countries. And what we see is that the major problem of this category and all over traditional medicine is the trust. So people trust Ayurveda, but they do not have the same degree of trust in the doctors and the medicines. And there are various challenges to it. There are various pathies all over the world, whether they are other traditional medicines outside of India, or anyone practicing without any sort of degrees. There are a lot of things that we see as a challenge. However, to give you a glimpse of Ayurveda market, not just in India, but wherever we have got large diaspora population, most of Indians take both Ayurveda and Western medicine. And practically every Indian has taken Ayurveda at least once in their lives. A lot of non-Indians have also been introduced to Ayurveda by them. The government is, of course, working, and the industry globally is expected to grow from $6 billion today to $12 billion by 2025. So how I see this as a technology practice is, what we see today is a lot of people spend several hours on computer, tablet, or smartphone. This is necessary for work, but this also presents an opportunity for us to be seen in front of them. It is very important. It is not just about advertising every time. So what we have also been seeing is that the challenges of traditional medicine are of various kinds in various countries because of competing traditional medicine system, as I told you, and it makes it makes it more important for all of us to use technology in more than one ways. The doctors need to reach out to women, expatriates of various nationalities, people looking for wellness, and people also the children, the pregnant women. So there are various kinds of people who are looking for various kinds of treatment. So it is important to reach out to them as well. How we can reach out to them if there is no technology? And on top of that, there are 3 dots in Ayurveda healthcare ecosystem: the doctors, patients, and medicine manufacturers. Thankfully, we have all 3 here, and I can share that. So, as per various data, there are thousands of doctors. There are thousands of individual clinics. They provide consulting services and sell medicines, and everyone has their own challenges. The biggest challenge is good doctors are lost among barrage of various healthcare practitioners and systems. unlike the Western medicine or modern medicine practitioners, the Ayurveda practicing community remains largely unconnected. They mostly work so this is an SME, and there is practically no knowledge sharing platform. So patients also, that is one of the reason, and this is actually coming from my working in various geographies all over the world. What we have seen is that patients have no way to know which Ayurveda doctors are truly qualified and which ones are not. And they don't know which Ayurveda products are legitimate and which are not. Or, of course, advertising led, and some of the advertising which has led to low trust in Ayurveda medicine are also a reason for these problems. And at the same time, somebody like as Dr. Ramanathan was saying, that brands are increasingly finding it difficult to manage this largely unorganized supply chain, how they can reach. If doctors do not have quality medicines, if patients do not know which doctor is good, this is going to be a big problem. And so we are in a digital era, more so post-COVID. We have seen how telemedicine has grown. What people are expecting is that somebody will consult them and they will also be sent medicine. They are not likely to go back to a clinic, and it will in next few years it will see more radical adoption. So what I would say is that technology has made it much more easier for people to use Ayurveda, and it also for Ayurveda doctors to connect with more people. So what I believe is that digitizing the supply chain can help build trust and improve the quality of care that Ayurveda doctor community provide to the patients. Quality content, recommendations, and collective push on internet is very much needed. What we have seen is social media nowadays doesn't come up on the top of promoting healthcare business, because people more and more about search and more about display. But it still plays quite crucial and hustle-free role in spreading the word. Getting started is not very difficult at all. But the things that actually keep social media services for Ayurveda doctors is consistency. Consistency is important, and also to create service trust factor. Thus, I would strongly recommend, and I always recommend while talking to the doctors, that partnering with Ayurveda Equal Opportunity platform is must for everyone. We are also like one of the platform which is Ayurveda Equal Opportunity platform, where we work with the doctors, and we are what we call ourselves is a doctor-led and technology-enabled platform to make Ayurveda mainstream and digital. So, and then while what we need is that as I told you, it is like an SME, and where we need to increase trust. So use of integrated technology system for managing entire suite of inventory to patient and marketing is very important. Retargeting is very important. It is not always important to get on top everywhere. We just need to target our target audience, which one we want to do that. We don't need to, every doctor should not be doing every single practice. What they can do is they can just do based on diabetes, because diabetes is anywhere, or pre-diabetic conditions are actually one of the most searched category on internet. Lower back pain is another category which attracts a lot of traffic. Stress is something which will keep you busy forever. Hair fall in particular in Gulf countries is actually everyone talks about, both men and women. So what we need to do is that use technology, use retargeting, use platforms which are available. Because building a platform, building technology, a lot of time we see that what if we don't use technology? Let us we are anyways doing that, but we do not stay ahead of the curve by not adopting technology. If we want to stay ahead of the curve, we have to use that. We have to use digital mediums. So, for example, today SMSs are almost obsolete. What you can do is that integrate WhatsApp. People use that, people see that it has virtually replaced your SMS system. Reminders to your existing doctors, to your, to your existing patients, what you could do is that a reminder could be set up, and everything can be done using technology. A lot of doctors, what we see that we have been seeing that they do not have a supply chain regulated, and that adds to the trouble. Again, the technology can change that. There are various systems, there are various practices that can be done that can actually help them in doing better business and providing better healthcare to the patients. So, and digital is not difficult. It is not costly. It is a perception that it costs a lot. What we need to do is to build a better content strategy to push what we want to say. The messaging needs to be clear. And most important thing is our customers, our patients needs to see that we are providing better service to them. We are not providing any substandard service to them. Something like what Ramanathan sir does in Thrissur, something like what Dr. Resmi does in Qatar, something like what Gangadharan sir does in Bangalore. This is what is needed. Technology is there to stay. Adoption of technology needs to be done. So my 3 takeaway for everyone here is that use at least one EMR system, electronic medical record system, use targeting and retargeting, and other thing is that always maintain and track your patients, where they are coming from and how they are going. I'm open for questions if there are any.
True. Thank you so much, Mr. Ram Kumar. And let me assure you, because we are in a digital age, so there is no way out. We have to have all of these digital platforms. We have to use what all you have mentioned. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you. And with this, let's proceed to our next speaker. Coming up now is Dr. Suresh, who's MD Triveni Ayurveda Hospital from Trivandrum. And Dr. Suresh would like to talk about entrepreneurship and business development in Ayurveda. Can we have Dr. Suresh on screen, please?
Oh, namaste. Respected Mr. Yusuf Al-Jaber, Chairman IBD Summit, Madam Angeline Premilata, Counselor, Indian Embassy Doha, my brother Dr. P.M. Warrior and Dr. G.G. Gangadharan, and all other respected dignitaries with my student, Dr. Rashmi. A warm good evening to all of you. Let me begin by wishing all of you a very happy and safe Diwali. I consider it's a privilege to address this August gathering today on the occasion of the Ayurveda Day. Ayurveda has reached a stage where its potential has been recognized globally, which has brought us together today. The onslaught of COVID-19 has brought Ayurveda to the forefront of our medicine, providing relief to many people. We have been treating people with various other diseases which has not yet been brought to limelight. Now, with Ayurveda being the focus, it is the apt time to develop it as a business venture and to encourage entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship and business development in Ayurveda is a topic given to me, but organizers have told me that I should emphasize on the evidence-based approach of Ayurveda for those who have not been exposed to. So my aim of today's session is to show you an evidence-based approach of Ayurveda towards the disease. At the outset, let me once again greet you and happy Diwali and a safe COVID-free Diwali for you. In 2015, October 9th, the Nobel Prize was given to a Chinese who found a molecule by name Artemisia annua. It is something developed from a Chinese herb. I tell you, Ayurveda has many or n number of chemicals or molecules which is similar to this, and only thing is that we are not giving a proper research over this topic. In 2016, another physiologist got a Nobel Prize. His name is Yoshinori Hausumi for his discovery on mechanism of autophagy. This is also one of the principles very well said in Ayurveda, Upavasa. That means intermediate fasting. And that has given a Nobel Prize in 2016. When it came to 2017, it was for a body internal clock. It was found by Jeffrey C. Hall and others. Here also, Ayurveda has contributed a lot towards a circadian rhythm or a clock that is similar to this. In 2018, what happened was here an immune system that can harness the cancer cells or kill cancer cell has been found by 3 scientists in USA, Japan. I'll tell you, the same Rasayana Chikitsa and the theory behind this is just what's called a miniature of what has been told by them. And when it came to 2019, last year, it went for a discovery how cells sense and adapt oxygen availability. This is also another principle told in Marma Chikitsa, where that oxygen is traveling all over the body. And with this, it has a very similar principle that has been given the award. So next 2020 or 21, the Nobel Prize should be for an Ayurvedic person. Ayurveda deals with any illness in 3 ways. It can either prevent that illness, it can be curative mode, corrective mode, or promotional mode. To prevent, we have certain regimes. Sastavrata, that's called. When to get up, how to brush your teeth, how to clean your body. That has been very, very cleanly dealt with. And for curative, that's what I'm going to talk about. Treatment aspects, how to approach the patient. And our previous speakers have told about all of this. And then for corrective, there are certain food habits, which I will not talk about all of this. And promotional, there's Rasayana and yoga, how to promote your health. I'm talking only about the curative aspect. The scope is enormous. We have to capitalize that. Ayurveda, this is dealt, all the speakers has been dealt in various headings. Somebody talked about hospital industry, somebody talked about pharmaceutical industry, medical tourism, sports medicine, and also academics, where we have to impart the knowledge to the next generation. Here, I'm going to talk to you about the strength of Ayurveda. See, a patient who had a fracture of the upper end of humerus, and in Ayurveda, it is a classification is different, but the treatment after reduction, we immobilize this. I'll tell you, our hospital is right inside the Trivandrum capital of Kerala, where multi-specialty hospitals are seen in and around it. And we get not less than 5 to 6 patients per day of fracture alone every day. Here you can see another day's people who had multiple fractures, and the right side you can see how you reduce a shoulder joint. See, just watch here. This is how it is, as simple as that. If you go to any modern hospital, you will either lose half day to 1 day for reduction of this. And this is another day. So I basically do mostly on orthopedic work. This is why I have taken all my orthopedic work. Here I can show you the one of the most people come to Ayurvedic doctors for a low backache. And the most common cause of low backache is intervertebral disc prolapse. Here you can see a patient who came to us for a disc prolapse and MRI taken on that day. After 21 days of treatment, We repeat the MRI and you can see the previously seen large superiorly migrated herniation of L5S1 level is no longer seen. Like that, we have not less than 200 to 300 patients of MRI before and after this. See another one. Another one which I'm going to show you is terrible triad. That means there is a multiple injury in the knee joint where you have lost the lateral collateral ligament, there's a partial tear, medial collateral ligament grade 2 to 3 tear, and anterior cruciate ligament along with lateral meniscal treatment. High grade tear. The patient came to my hospital. We make him undergo a protocol of treatment has been dealt with in the right side of it, and we keep an ice pack for 15 to 20 minutes, then immobilize the joint with traction, and then after immobilization, we mobilize that and give strengthening. You can see here how the patient is walking. Another area, the strength of Ayurveda, which I always tell them, is sports medicine. Plenty of patients either undergo different types of injury while playing or pursuing sports activities. And all this can be very well dealt. I have presented a paper in Amsterdam where I told right from grooming or selection of a athlete to him achieving the Olympic medal. There are different stages, and all these stages we have our own say in Ayurveda. How to select the athlete. Everybody cannot become Sachin Tendulkar. So there are certain body natures, as told in Ayurveda, which can be used. And then how to groom, and while grooming, what are the food you should take while grooming. Then before going for an big event, what are the food you should take? There are certain medicines where performance can be enhanced. That is told in our text. That is performance enhancing medicines or drugs which will not reflect in blood. So that also can be, that is a multi-millionaire, multi-million dollar this thing that is told in our text. And then the next area where Ayurveda, the strength of Ayurveda is Ayurvedic Ophthalmology. Lot of people come for their treatment for loss of vision, diminished vision, squints, etc. And also there are certain for lazy eye, dry eye. I know a place in Kerala where not less than 300 to 400 patients visit every day for their ophthalmological problem. Next area where Ayurveda can do wonders is for pregnancy treatment, antenatal, postnatal, for their menstrual issues, PCODs, etc. Here we have very good answer for all their troubles. For all the treatment we have, Ayurveda has very good answers. And for pediatrics, Bala Chikitsa, for hyperactive babies, for attention-seeking syndromes, for autistic babies, etc. Lot of treatment are available. So many people come to Ayurvedic pediatricians for their hyperactive, attention-seeking, autistic, etc. for their treatment. Then for psychiatry, a main cause of concern in today's world is psychiatrical issues. For addictions, for bipolar syndrome, for schizophrenia, for all this, we have very good answer, and Ayurveda has very good medicine for this. So many people come to Ayurveda for their psychiatrical problem. Then general medicine, Parkinsonism, neurological disorders, skin disorders. We have a study going on in collaboration with ICMR and Sri Chitrinal Institute of Medical Science, where a patient with stroke will be initially treated in Sri Chitrinal for their acute stage. After the acute phase has passed, The patient usually come to Ayurvedic center here in Triveni and undergo 3 weeks of treatment. After treatment, the patient will be going back to Sri Chitrana for assessment. So like that, rehabilitation is one of the strength of Ayurveda. Ayurvedic Panchakarma is another type of rehabilitation where you can undergo for stiffness, for all type of rheumatological disorders, etc. Rheumatology also Ayurveda is the only answer for all this illness. Multiple sclerosis, etc. Plenty of people come to Ayurveda. Then for lifestyle disorders, there are certain foods that is told in text which should not be taken in combination with, for example, you should not take fish with curd. There are certain people who come to us saying that, sir, I am getting obese. So early morning I take honey in warm lime water. I'll tell you, honey, if you warm it, it is becoming toxic. All seasonal foods should be taken. Non-seasonal food should be avoided. So the whole world is turning into slow food movement rather than fast food movement. Now the fast food style is coming down and slow food movement is coming up. This is also one of the principles told in Ayurveda. Now in the present scenario, Ayurveda after COVID, many people are scared to visit modern hospital for the fear to have them affected with COVID. The treatment cost is also doubled. So everyone prefer conservative treatment rather than surgical treatment. Right now we have medicated mask enhanced with turmeric, tulasi, etc. has been there. Immune boosters like Indugandham. The moment the first case was reported in China in Wuhan, that means December 31st, 2019, all our staffs, including me, started taking Indugandham Kashayam every day. And for God's grace, none of my staffs have been affected with this. We are treating almost every day, not less than 50 to 60 patients daily. The hospital will be fumigated with Aparajita. One of my previous speakers, Dr. Ramanathan, and also one of my colleagues, Dr. Srivalsan, has done study on Aparajita Dhupa, where it has found the colony of bacteria is coming down. Another strength or another area where we can ponder into is after COVID, plenty of patients come to our hospital with multiple joint pain, arthralgia, then lethargic feeling, mentally depression, etc. These also can be very well addressed with Ayurvedic treatment. Here I am showing you the COVID-19 pandemic will lead around 28 million surgeries was cancelled. So there is another study that says that 20 to 30% of all surgeries done worldwide is not that necessary. COVID has shown that people can survive without surgery. For surgeries needed only less than 20 to 30% of all those cases. Today, 2 hours before, our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has told that demand for Ayurvedic products have gone up globally during COVID-19. This is during his inaugural address, and this is the strength of Ayurveda. And we have very good immunomodulatory add-on drugs for COVID and post-COVID patients. For example, Indugandham Kashayam, Bharanyadi Kashayam, Rakshadi Kashayam, then Ashtanga Churna, etc. are big evidence and lot of studies going on that. And the study says that the Ayurvedic market in India is expected to grow from around 4 billion in 2018 to 9.5 billion in 2024. So our chances are very vast. Sky is the limit. I congratulate the organizers for all these efforts and making this webinar into a great success. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suresh. Thank you so much for your patience, for your cooperation. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Suresh from Triveni Ayurveda Hospital, Trivandrum.
Actually, a lot of discussion went on preparation of medicines in India and marketing it globally. But whether this geographical factor plays a role in the impact of medicine when it is applied overseas. That's because I always believe that locally grown plants it suits their local diseases. But when those extracts were made as a medicine and passed on to overseas, how effective it is?
I think nobody's answering. I think I should answer. As far as my knowledge knows, it is ethnobotany. That means the plant which is seen on the place where we live, that will be more effective than any plants coming from outside. That's the first theory. Second theory, something is better than nothing, because we have this, and whether it won't be as effective as in land, but it will be definitely effective in your place also. So that you need not worry. It might not be 100%, 80 to 90% it will be effective, but it is definitely effective.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other question?
Good evening, everybody. This is Sudeep Sonane from Surat, Gujarat. Thank you for your respective presentations. It was very informative. I have one question regarding Ayurveda's efficacy. We have heard all the good points about Ayurveda tonight. My question is about some Ayurvedic preparations contain a lot of heavy metals like lead, mercury, and arsenic. And from Qatar's point of view, will there be regulatory concerns for Ayurveda medicines exporting companies in India?
Definitely, there will be regulatory controls by the importing country, and they're very strict on that one. And all those medications that has got these heavy metals and other things will definitely not be allowed to import it into this country. I'm sure the licensed doctor must be able to answer these because she's in the practice. So what all medicines are allowed to be imported, she would be able to highlight on that.
No.
Dr. Reshmi?
Yeah, Reshmi?
Yes. Regarding the medicines, according to my experience, we are still in the budding stage. We didn't even start the internal medicine procedures. And as I know of it, there are lots of regulations here. And we are hopefully in the coming future, we'll be able to do that. Lots of regulations. The Qatar government, they considers the health of their nationals very closely. So because of that, they have to. There are lots of regulations, and we have to go according to that.
Some of our Qatari friends have asked us the authenticity of the herbal plants we use. They say it could be sometimes fake herbal plants could be supplied. How do you make sure that you have a proper supply of these things, considering a lot of deforestation has taken place? And do we have that capacity to produce enough medication to cater the rest of the world, not only India?
Yeah, I can only speak about myself and the medicines used here. So our company has their own, plant cultivation there. So from there, we are importing the medicines. So we can be sure that the medicines are organic and organically grown. So in that case, it's okay. But about the other, for the other manufacturing companies, I'm not sure about it. I think with all the regulations, with the strict regulations, this can be overcome. And we have to also strive to plant more, more areas should be planted with Ayurveda medicines. And that is another area which we have to think about by propagating the use, the marketing and the need of growing more Ayurveda medicines. like a herbal gardening or some bio garden or a forest or something like that.
Let me add. I have a small factory in Trivandrum where we have very stringent rules by Kerala government, not only Kerala government, India government in drugs control department. For a factory to run, there should be a B Farm holder, there should be an Ayurvedic doctor, plus there should be a MSc or BSc botany or chemistry. All these people should be there to run a factory. It was not the rule earlier, but now the rules have become very strict, and now things are going in a proper way. And as we have concern is there, where the medicines will be there or not. Now that is also our concern. As Dr. Rashmi has told, we are trying to extend the cultivation land of various areas. That's all.
And I think Dr. Suresh,
Dr. Mohan Thomas, Dr. Mohan Thomas, can I ask you one question?
Please.
Dr. Thomas, chicanery in manufacturing of medical products is not limited to Ayurvedic manufacturers. I mean, we have heard of a lot of allopathic manufacturers, for example, multivitamin tablets hardly contain folic acid because it's expensive. So it's there on the cover, but it's not actually there. So, I mean, these kind of things are, individual based and company based. So we cannot taint the entire branch of healthcare. That's my view.
I understand that. It's only to make sure that, you have the right product when you go globally so that your reputation is not affected at all. I think we should go back to our Adivasis and empower them to plant these plants in the forest which they belongs to them. So I think that supply chain can be maintained like the olden times.
Yeah, excellent suggestion.
Dr. Mohan sir, can I ask you a question?
Dr. Rashmi, there's one more question for you. This is Dr. Anjali from India, and she's asking about any opportunities for practicing Ayurveda in Qatar. So people are getting inspired by you.
Yeah, very much.
Of course, there are opportunities. They can also try. They can do the data flow and try for this.
There is a great opportunity in this
so
country.
one good for you, data flow, that is the most basic required thing for all the doctors in Qatar, like any other part of the world. Just apply for that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, it's very important because the Qatar quality control, they are always,
Rashmi, you were saying something?
Qatar government is very particular about this, the quality control. So the data flow is very important for this. And if more companies are coming here and more Ayurvedic institutions are opening here, that means there are more doctors are getting opportunity for this.
Absolutely. There are a lot of people, Qataris are interested in this branch now, and there are inquiries about this one. So any firms or hospitals or anything who are interested to come definitely can contact us. We can assist them in every manner.
Dr. Mohan Thomas, can I ask you a question, sir?
Please.
Yeah, actually, when we were marketing Ayurveda products, we always get, whenever we try to brand it, because people are talking about creating awareness, whenever we try to brand it, there is a huge resistance from Ayurveda practitioners. Why it is? As a manufacturer, as a brand owner, when we try to create awareness, try to add more value to the brand, there is we are not getting enough support from Ayurveda practitioners.
In which country?
In Tamil Nadu, I am saying.
Oh, I see. Well,
so, for example, when we were able to brand Ayurveda product or food supplement or any medicine, generic thing, we get a lot of resistance from Ayurveda practitioners for a branded Ayurveda product.
No, it's changing, sir. In Kerala, sir, I write plenty of branded medicines. It's in Kerala now. It is changing a lot. Earlier, it was Vruddha Vaidyas or old people who are very much adamant for that. Now the younger generation is fast coming, and they are changing it. Now it was a issue earlier. My father usually won't write branded medicine, but now we have all writing all this. Now we are changing. Yeah.
Good.
One more thing, in case if you have any more questions, suggestions, you want to know anything, then you can just simply email your queries to us, media@qatarstories.com. You can write your questions, queries, or suggestions to us related to the very specific topic related to World Ayurveda Day 2020. You can email us at media@qatarstories.com.
On behalf of Qatar Stories, it is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks. On this occasion, I thanking our special guest, Madam Angelina, Counselor of Indian Embassy, and our keynote speaker, Mr. P.N. Warrior, and Mr. Yusuf Jabar, the guest of honor, and Mr. Mohan Thomas, and all other speakers, Dr. Gangadharan, Dr. Reshmi, Dr. Rajan, Ms. Priyanka Patni, Dr. Ramachandran, Mr. Raman Kumar, and Dr. Suresh. I thanks once more on behalf of Qatar Stories.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. With this, wishing you all a very happy, safe, and prosperous Diwali and a healthy life ahead. It was a pleasure interacting with you. Before we move ahead, or before I wrap up, just one small piece of advice. As we all know that our body is the place where we live in. This is really precious. Please handle it with care, love, and empathy. Handle it with Ayurveda. Thank you so much. Take care. Good night. Shubh Deepavali. Thank you.